Let's continue our discussion on the Sri Lankan economy and the markets. And the question is it time to invest in Sri Lanka, especially after the end of that 26-year civil war? Our next guest is on a roadshow in Singapore, meeting with potential investors and clients. And don't forget that Sri Lankan stocks are up 67% so far this year. That's the second best performing stock market here in the Asia Pac, with the Colombo Index beating out China's Shanghai Composite Index now by close to 10%. Let's get one of the fund managers of this brokerage, and Ranjan Hulagala joins me now from Singapore. He's a founder and director of the Sri Lankan brokerage at First Guardian Equities. Welcome to the program, Ranjan. So you just heard the central bank governor there defending his decision not to cut interest rates. What did you make of it? Do rates, borrowing costs, need to come down further?
Well, first of all, I'd like to say that the central bank governor looks like he's got it right here. I mean, they've successfully combated inflation. Interest rates are down from 20 to 12%, and foreign reserves have built up about $800 million US dollars since the end of the war. So I think the central bank and the governor will go down as making the right call here.
And do you have any concerns about the Sri Lankan economy going forward? Again, I'm pointing to those export figures and slowing growth.
Well, growth all over the world has slowed. They've revised growth figures up. First quarter was about 1.5%. Central bank has revised the year 2009 figure, as the governor has said, up to 3.5%. The trajectory looks excellent. Economic indicators like tourist arrivals are up 28% year over year for July. Interest rates have come down. Borrowing costs will start to come down. So the Sri Lankan economy actually looks poised for growth acceleration, and we're looking at something about 8 to 10% for the foreseeable future.
Okay, let's talk about stock market returns, I guess investment returns then, because you hear these big names such as Mark Mobius and George Soros, also Jim Rogers, touting Sri Lanka's stocks and the companies there. But, tell us how big these returns can be, especially for the viewers who don't know much about Sri Lanka.
Well, I think the potential is really amazing. Here you have a market that's trading at around 10 times earnings and about book value. And this is a market which is in an economy that is poised to grow 8 to 10% for the foreseeable future. You get growth and value in this market. So, we see the market, PE moving up from 10 to 15. So you're getting 50% right there. Plus, then you're going to see earnings growth at around 20+% for the next few years. So, the potential returns are really amazing when you look forward.
Okay, well, let's talk about your individual stock picks then, because you're advising and you're investing in John Keells, which is one of the best-known names in Sri Lankan stocks. It's a huge conglomerate in the country and has interests ranging from transportation, tourism, and finance. You mentioned PE. This is trading at 18 times PE, which is way over the market's average of 10 times. So what makes this a compelling stock pick, especially as you see the stock running up over 160%?
Well, John Keells is sort of the bluest of the blue chips in Sri Lanka. It's sort of like Reliance in India or General Electric in the States. If you want exposure to the Sri Lankan economy that's broad-based and liquid, you got to go to John Keells. And the PE is in the teens right now, but we're looking at trough levels of earnings. Earnings should accelerate going forward, and that PE should shrink. I've seen you've had the vice chairman of John Keells on this program, and he has basically said that tourism, which is one of their key sectors, December to April, there could be a shortage of hotel rooms. So that vertical of their businesses looks very good going forward.
Okay, Ranjan, now potential upside for this stock?
I think it should grow. Basically go along with the market. It should outperform just because it is the premier name in Sri Lanka. So, I'm talking 30 to 40%, for the next year or two.
Oh, well, that sounds pretty compelling, 30 to 40%. Ranjan, we are out of time, unfortunately, but thank you for joining us today. That's Ranjan Hulagala of the brokerage house in Sri Lanka, First Guardian Equities.